Let's do it.
Hey, what's up, everybody? My name is Ozzy, also known as ReaperFx, and here I have FX Visionary. In this video, we're pretty much going to be going over you know, market structure, breaks of structure, market structure shifts, how to identify order blocks, fair value gaps, and we're pretty much going to freestyle from here on out. If you want to introduce yourself.
What's up, guys? Peter here, FX Visionary. Just getting off of work. Here with my boy Ozzy. Gonna do a market breakdown. Gonna pick his brain a little bit, and let's get into it.
Let's get it. All right. So, right off the bat, how do
Go
we
ahead,
identify?
go ahead and share your screen real quick.
Are you able to see the?
No, click share screen.
Hold on. There we go.
All right.
All right, now
Yeah, that's good.
you good?
Awesome. Perfect. Beautiful.
All right, so so right off the bat, identifying market structure, right? So when it comes to market structure, you have two types of market structure. You have external, right? So it's your major swing points, right? So you got your low, you got your high, you got your higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, right? So as you can see here, we have our low, a high, a higher low, a high. This low right here is still higher than this one. So
Yeah.
that's also a higher low. This higher high right here is higher than this one.
Yeah.
We got another higher low, higher high, higher low, and now we just created a new high. Right, so that's your external structure. And within that external structure, you have all this internal structure. Right, so
Right.
price is never going to look, super clean. You're going to have your, liquidity grabs and all this and stuff. So just be aware that and within your external structure, you have your internal structure.
Right.
So
And you're on the 4H, right?
yeah, this is on the 4H.
All right.
So as you can see here, right, I'm gonna highlight this part. We're gonna go on to the 60-minute. Right. So here you still have this is your internal structure right here. And the deeper you go into the time frames, the more structure you're gonna see. Right.
Right.
So based off of a internal structure, you could still catch trades within the internal structure with the bias of where the external structure actually is heading towards.
So in this case, it's actually consolidating. So what would be the bias?
So right here, is it really consolidating though?
Well, on the 4H, on the
Because
1H, I mean, it's kind
because
of
we're
uptrend.
think about it this way though. You have your high, higher low, higher high, right? And then we made a lower high, lower low, lower
Yeah,
low.
so it was a
So
change
we
of character.
have shifts in market structure within
Right,
that pullback. All
right,
this whole move right here is just a pullback on the 4H time frame. Right? It's just a retracement. That's literally all it is.
right,
So we have price made as push to the upside, right? And this right here is just a pullback of this push.
right, correct. So it's still on an uptrend.
Correct. Because overall, your 4H and if you go onto the daily, you'll maybe see it a little bit cleaner. But
Or not.
let me do this. Hold up. All right. So see how on the daily it looks a little bit smoother. It's easier to identify.
Yeah,
Use that as your, take advantage of that,
of course.
because this could really simplify the way that you trade. Even if you go off of the daily, you can see, okay, we broke this high right here, so we had a break to the upside. What demand zone caused that? This one right here. And see how it pretty much matches into that zone? You could just go based off of this.
Yeah.
The thing is that when I trade, the way that I trade, I go a little bit, deeper into the time frames, into the lower time frames.
Can I stop you for a question?
What's up?
So that would have been a demand setup, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
Um, Obviously you're probably not going to take a setup on the 4H, but let's say you're going in for an entry, right? Do you wait for it to tap into the top of the order block alone, which is technically a gap, or do you wait until it goes lower and taps into the order block itself a little lower and go off of
Like
that, or
into the
do
median,
you just look at where it starts reversing and grabs liquidity and then you take a buy?
pretty much. So if you were to go off of the 4H, you could literally put it just right at the top of the zone, right? Pretty much right at the top of the order block. This we'll go into this later on, but this right here is what you call a breaker block, and that's actually an order block itself.
Okay.
But I don't want to confuse you right now, and we'll go
No,
over
it's all
that
good. It's all good. The only thing I'm wondering is why'd you mark out the order block like that? Is that an order block
because it's a
off the?
specific type of order block. It's called that's what I'm saying. It's called a breaker block.
Oh, copy.
So it's different. So this order block right here, right? This supply zone created the push to the downside to the reverse. So this was in the market. So let me see how I can put it for you.
No, I understand. I understand where
When
you're
we
going
get
so
to this
far.
area in the market, right? When we got to this area, the bigger banks and all this stuff wanted to move price upwards, right? So what they do is they sell in order to buy.
Of course, it's like liquidity technically.
It's liquidity, it's manipulation, right? So why does price come back into this area? Because they need to remitigate those orders that they had. They need to, what do you call it? In order to like finish placing in all the orders that they couldn't place in this area.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. Now, real quick, before you continue, can you mark it out as if you were to mark out a regular order block real quick?
So if I was gonna do like a regular OB,
Yeah, that's what I'm
like
talking
this
about.
one,
Yeah, I want to show like the audience or anybody who might not be exactly sure how to mark out an order block. Um, can you just kind of go over that briefly?
yeah. So pretty much an order block, all it is, the way to identify it is you pretty much find the last contrary candle before the move either to the upside or to the down or to the downside. Right. So as you can see here, we were trending bearish, right? Price got to this area and started uh creating higher lows pretty much. And right here in this contrary candle, this is where all the orders came in to move price to the upside.
Why is that the last contrary candle? Why not the one right before the push up?
Because this is the last bearish candle before the bullish move.
Okay.
So if it was for example, let me see. All right. So we have this area of supply right here, right? Because this was the last bullish candle before the bearish move that
Oh, gotcha.
caused this break to the downside,
Gotcha.
right? So
Yeah, I get it. I just want to make sure I'm good on that aspect because sometimes I see different traders. The way they mark out their order blocks are slightly different. some people grab the exact last candle before the push up. Some people grab like the last two candles before the push up. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, as long as you mark out the whole, like the general zone
Yeah,
where price should come back to,
got you.
then it's going to be either way. Cause you could literally just, mark out this whole area, right?
Right,
And
right.
say, okay, that's my, my POI.
Hmm.
Because as long as you still wait for price to come into this area right here, right? And mitigate it. See, like if we were to mark out that whole zone, right? And we just wait for price to come in and mitigate that zone. In the lower time frames, all we saw on the 4H was a bunch of wicks, right? So this one we can't really tell. But if we go into the 15-minute, now we can see price, reacting to this area. So you can see here that we're trending bearish, right?
Yeah,
We were still breaking structure to the downside, broke this low, had a sweep right here because look at how price came back down, but immediately shot right back up.
yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Another example, like basically a liquidity grab.
Correct. So what would be our change of character? Because this was the last high that created this low, right? So when did we actually have our change of character? Right after this big bullish candle right here. What was the order block that caused it? This one right here. Because it was the last bearish move before the bullish push to the upside that caused this change of character.
Gotcha.
And look how precise price is. It literally tapped right back in, shot up. This
Gotcha.
trade, I was so close to taking it, and my stupid ass didn't put a buy limit, and I completely missed out on it. But this would have been, one of the trades, one of the
That
few trades that I would have taken this week, because I was literally waiting for this whole setup. If you look at the video from like last weekend that I did the weekend outlook or whatever, the
yeah,
pre-market open, I had anticipated this fucking price action because I knew that after price taps into this area right here, I knew we were going to push big time because we had to break major highs,
yeah,
right? Because we had to break every single time that we're going to break a major high, price has to do it with a lot of momentum because this is not just, this is a strong structural high. So for price to break through it, it needs a lot of, force.
yeah. Of course.
So essentially all this right here, all this, you know, um, this whole shit right here was all liquidity, especially when price actually got into the zone. This right here, this is all liquidity. We had a sweep. We had another sweep of these lows right here. Price shot up, consolidated, swept all that liquidity, and then tapped into the zone and pushed off.
Right.
So, where could we target next? We have an area of supply up here on the daily, right? Which we already kind of see some reactions because if we go down to the 60-minute, see price tapped in and immediately rejected it.
Mm-hmm.
So we're seeing some reactions. So now all we got to do is pretty much just see how it reacts in this area. And if it gives us a sell confirmation, we could take a sell. But it's going to be a short-term trade, right? Because the sell, there's more bullish power at the moment than bearish. So right now, what it tells me is that price wants to continue
Yeah.
breaking past those daily highs.
Right.
We could potentially see this week that will break those highs right here. And worker, we gotta after that, we just gotta look at the areas that we could come to. You have this area right here. Ultimately, this is where I think price is going coming to.
Yeah, I see that. Yeah, because it has to fill in all those gaps.
Exactly. It has this huge area
Imbalance.
of imbalance.
Yeah.
Right. So we could come to the median of this. We don't have to go to the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that's the next place that we could anticipate price going to.
Question: Do you think after getting close to filling all the gaps, do you think it could react off of that fair value gap right there and actually reverse to the downside again? Anything's possible, right? I guess.
Where when it gets to like this
Yeah,
area.
right there. Yeah,
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. It doesn't have to reach the whole zone. It could actually
right.
come into median. Like it could literally come into like up to here and just say, fuck it. That's because eventually this shit will get filled up.
At some
I
point,
think at
at some
some
point,
point the
at
market
some
will
point,
come right back up
we
to
don't
this
know when
area.
it's gonna get filled, but we know that it has to
Yeah,
get
but
filled.
eventually it'll always reset. It'll always fill in those voids.
Right. Cool, man. So do you wanna go into a smaller time frame and see if we could look at some potential trades for the start of the week?
Yeah. So on the 15-minute, right? I think price for this specific pair. Let's see. Because this is still not even done pushing up, to be honest with you.
Why not? Did you look left already and see if it has to
No,
flush?
no, no. It's just that there's so much bullish momentum that right now it's not even telling me if price is going to retrace yet.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
Because if you look at,
I see it looks like a head and shoulders pattern forming there, but I'm not sure. I don't really focus on that too much.
yeah, I don't.
I definitely use head and shoulders patterns and like triple tops as a confluence, bro. Like I'm not gonna lie to you. Like it as an extra confirmation, definitely. I just don't base myself solely off of that, you know?
Yeah. So if price is done retracing at this, I mean, if price is done pushing up, then we could anticipate price to maybe come around to this area. Because remember, it has to be at a discounted price for it to be a valid order block for me. So let's say that even though, let's say price is done pushing up, right? Eventually we could see it come down maybe into this area. There's a slight imbalance right here. Because if you see,
Yeah, I definitely see it.
that little gap right there?
Yeah, that has to get filled.
Exactly. So we have some imbalance. Um,
Can you
because
go
when
over?
what I've noticed is that when price has these crazy pushes, bro,
Yeah,
it won't retrace because what we're gonna be trading now from here on out is gonna be continuations. Like, this is a change of character. This is right before the move actually happens. Once the move happens, then what we gotta trade and look at is continuations.
like pullbacks, right?
Yeah, just see the small pullbacks and then try to get in on buys.
Bro, this week GJ was nonstop bullish, bro. Like I was trying to catch a pullback and I was not seeing any pullbacks whatsoever, bro. It was it was pretty hard to trade GJ this week for me at least.
GJ was fucking brutal, bro.
Hey, let me ask you a question, bro, because you spoke about discounted prices. Can you go into detail about that a little bit? Like what do you mean when you talk about discounted prices that the banks are looking for?
Yeah, so from my understanding of discount and premium, right, is pretty much essentially that when price has this push, right, we want we want liquidity to build up. right? So for every, like I said, for every single move, there has to be liquidity. So even though we're pushing to the upside, all this is going to be used as liquidity, right? So if we have a small retracement, let's say into this area, you're not letting price grab much liquidity, right? So it needs to grab liquidity on the way down. So when we have discounted areas, is because price was able to grab as much liquidity, and now we have a discounted zone. So price is cheaper here because remember, we at the end of the day we have to also remember that everything is by price. You know, we're trading the difference between two
Correct.
prices in two different pairs. Right. So if you're gonna buy something as an individual, if you were to buy something, obviously we would rather buy something that's at discount
For
than
sure.
when it's at premium. Why would I want to pay premium
Right.
price? We pay for cheap gas. So we pay for 87. We don't pay for
Right.
93. At least the most of us. You
In
know,
other words, you're talking about pullbacks, right?
essentially, yeah, pullbacks. The liquidity has to build up and everything, but that's not necessarily the whole gist of it. It's just more of a cheaper price for banks to come in at.
Gotcha.
Um, but yeah, I mean, it's I don't there's not really much like too into it, to be honest with you. It's just cheaper price for banks. You know, obviously they would rather pay for something that's at discount than at
Yeah.
premium.
All right. Makes sense. Sweet. So we have a bullish order block there that you marked out, and it left a little bit of imbalance that you also marked out, right?
Mm-hmm.
So how are we looking in the zones above that bullish push? Is there something that could possibly retrace soon? I think you mentioned.
So right now, there's nothing that's indicating to me that price is going to reverse, right? Because this low right here has not been broken. This low created this major high right here. So we're trading right now at the moment within this range. So if price were to break below this area, then that'll tell me, okay, now we could be retracing into this order block,
Right.
right? But for now, there's nothing really telling me that we're going to retrace. So we could still see price mitigate more into this area,
Mm-hmm.
right? We could see it, possibly come up during Asia session, have some sort of consolidation, have one sweep during London. Price has a change of character, and then we could retrace maybe a little bit lower until we flip again and then go bullish. Because honestly, I'm pretty fucking sure that ultimately we're going to be breaking these major highs. Sometime this week, I'm pretty sure that we should be breaking these highs. I don't think the supply zone is going to hold,
Yeah.
but yet again, we never know. So for this week, at least as of right now with UJ, I can't really tell you, we're going to be looking at sells or we're going to be looking at buys. Long term buys, definitely. Short term sells, possibly when we mitigate a little bit more into the area. Um, we have a little area of demand right here,
Yep.
actually. So we still gotta let price do its thing. Because since it's still not done pushing up, this retracement, this push could actually be potentially up to here. And then the retracement could fall back into maybe this order block later down the road. You get what I'm saying? Because
Right.
if the full push is up to this area, then that pullback still falls in under discounted price.
Yeah.
So that could be another potential.
Right.
That's actually that I'm actually gonna have to be honest with you. I feel like that's actually a little bit more probable for this week.
To confirm and basically strengthen what you're saying. When you talk about a pullback or a discounted price for a bullish run, we're talking about a discount. You want to see price tap into the 50% mark on the Fibonacci, right?
Either 50 or 75. Anything below 50.
And
And
then
it's on either on it's on both. It's not only on bullish, it's on
no, for sure, yeah, that's what I was going to ask
bearish
you about. So for sells, it's the same thing. Just obviously
same
you
thing.
draw the Fibonacci from the top to bottom, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Anything that as soon as it starts tapping into the 50, that's what we want to see, right? Or anything
Yep.
above that for a
Yeah.
sell.
If you have an order block, in the 50, the 50 is probably the sweet spot, to be honest with you. The 50 tends to be the most
The golden zone, that's like the golden zone, right?
in a way. Yeah. Um, so definitely if you see one in the 50 is always a good high probability. And yeah, essentially it's the same way, when it comes to sells or buys.
Right.
Let me see here. Look, this one came to the 75.
What pullback are you talking about? Because there's multiple pullbacks. Oh, you're talking about that big wick?
The major one. This one right here.
Yeah. Yeah. So that went to the
Because this
70.
was the end of the pullback right here.
So is it more probable to push down harder if it reaches a higher level like the 75?
They tend to say in theory, yes.
But it could also be signs of reversal to the upside.
Technically, for a reversal, it has to reach the one, like literally the top, because at that point,
Right.
if price is that bullish,
Yeah.
if it breaks above the 75, then yes, there's a higher probability we might reverse
Right. Right.
for sure.
Makes sense. Cool. So awesome, man. What do you think about getting a tiny bit, not too much into psychology? Because that's a big thing when it comes to trading.
Oh yeah, that's the main
Psychology,
thing,
I
bro.
want to say
That's the big
psychology.
thing.
That's like the major. That's like the
Fuck
one.
the analysis part. The analysis part ain't
Yeah.
shit compared to the psychology,
I
bro. That's
want to
where it
say
really gets everybody at.
I want to say psychology is probably like the thing that'll make you or break you as a trader.
No doubt. No doubt.
Yeah. So what do you think about psychology when it comes to trading, or give me a little bit of insight on your psychology when you're trading, when you jump into a trade and you're going for buy and you see some bearish candles, you start getting a little, impatient and stuff like that. How do you deal with that?
Bro, it's honestly just trial and error in a way. It's just gonna be day in and day out in the market, realistically, because you're gonna have to learn to, in a way, block out your emotions and not completely ignore them. Right. So there's this book that I'm reading that is actually it's called the mental game of trading. Um, I'll show it to you in a little bit. And it's a damn good book because it tells you not to completely block out your emotions either. So in a
Right.
way, you gotta use your emotions as a sign of as a warning sign, right? Because let's say you're looking at the charts and you really want to jump onto this trade, right? And you the little demon in the back of your head is telling you, come on, like jump in now. Like, look, oh, price is moving without you. Look, price. So that little demon, instead of completely blocking it out, use it as a warning sign. Like, you know what? I'm feeling a little anxious. Let me step back. Let me go ahead and put an alert right before price gets into my zone. Let me see how it reacts once I get into my zone. But kind of like stay away from the charts in a way. Like being in front of the charts is horrible. That's why I've come to the point where I actually set alerts. Right. So
Right.
let's say I'm expecting price to come back into this area, into this zone. I'll set an alert maybe
Right above it.
here, right?
Yeah.
And just step
Yeah.
away. Step away. Watch TV, do whatever, read a book. That's definitely one of the best things that you could actually probably do because it
Right.
keeps you out of the charts, bro.
Right.
Being, we don't have to be in a fucking trade every single day. We
Right.
really don't. And that's one of the things that I'm still working on,
Yeah. Same.
but I have progressed tremendously, bro, because I wanted to be, like the second to last FTMO challenge that I took 45 trades within 1 week, bro.
Wow, dude, that's a lot of trades.
It's ridiculous. I was trying to like, I was doing this shit, bro. I was trying to catch like every small fucking move, right? So like, I'll be in the chart. I'll be like, oh, okay, fuck yeah, like, we just had a change of character. Like, okay, let me try to take a buy on this demand. Like, it was, I was trying to be in it too bad.
On the 1 minute, yeah, that's another thing I wanted to get
Like, there's
into
no point
later.
in me trading this shit.
Yeah, like the 1 minute. I mean, I don't really take like demand setups and supply setups off of the 1 minute, bro. Like the
The 1 minute
entries,
is
the
great.
entries, yes, the entries, yes, but
Yeah, the 1 minute is great when it comes to entries for sure. But like I said, that's why I tend to set alerts now, bro, because it keeps me away, it keeps me distracted. Like, why don't I just set the alert and I let price come to me.
right,
I try not to be in the market, and I'm not gonna sit here and say that it works every single time because it doesn't. Because there's still times that I take stupid trades.
right,
But as long as little by little you start taking a lot less stupid trades, you're slowly but surely, making progress.
yeah,
Another thing, bro, is don't doubt yourself. Don't overthink it. If price is giving you all your confluences, bro,
yeah.
what the fuck? At the end of
Jump
the
in
day,
there
trading is a game of odds, bro.
for sure.
It's a thing of probability, right? Because we could either be 50% right or 50% wrong. As long as the times that we're 50% right, we have more of a risk to reward ratio, we're profitable.
For sure.
You know, it's that simple. And as long as you could wait for price to actually align with the overall bias, right?
Yeah,
So even though I say that we could catch short-term sells, what's the point? Long term, we're waiting for buys. So why can't we just wait for the buys and actually get the good trade, the more probable trade,
yeah. That's
right?
another
So
thing
instead of
that I feel like newcomers struggle with a lot is that they don't really trade with the trend. And even though, we try not to look at trend lines anymore like that very much, I feel like it's still very important for like the newcomers to understand that you know if you are trading with the trend, you have a higher chance of winning a trade than you would if you're trading against the
oh no,
trend.
absolutely. That's the whole point. We got to learn how to trade with the trend. Counter trend trading, bro, is unfortunately is the way that I was taught when I first started. So it really stuck into me,
Yeah,
to be a counter trend trader. And
yeah,
it's kind of stupid because like why the fuck would I want to trade against the bank?
yeah. I feel like a reason why people counter trend trade, and I've caught myself in this problem, is basically FOMO. Like, you see that you're in an uptrend, but if you go into the smaller time frames, like on the 5 minute, it's about to reverse to the downside. So you're like, fuck, like I just want to jump into a trade. You know what I
Yep.
mean? So you end up trading against the trend, and it actually does more damage than it would good for you. So
Yeah.
another thing
Exactly.
that I would like people to understand is that FOMO is never a good thing in any market. Like not in crypto, not in forex, not in real estate. Like don't buy an asset just because you see it going up exponentially and you have fear of missing out. FOMO, which is what I call it, is probably the worst thing you can have when it comes to any market.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, FOMO's a bitch, man. FOMO is what pretty much has prevented me from getting, funded. The last time that I did the FTMO challenge, I passed phase one. I didn't pass phase two, but
What was your biggest setback? that you would say was your biggest like top of the line, like biggest setback when it came to taking that challenge, and you know that you didn't pass because of that thing,
Getting
that
so
fine line.
fixed, getting so fixated on trying to be funded.
Yeah. But what
Because
was
what do
your
we see when we what are we trying to get funded for? We're trying to change our lives. You feel me?
yeah,
Like we're trying to make money while like at home.
yeah,
Like we're trying to get away from our 9 to 5s and our fucking 24s and our crazy fucking shifts. And
right.
you get so fixated on you grow like for at least for me, and I'm pretty sure it's the same for you, but that you grow such a hatred towards what you're doing right now that you get so fixated on trying to get funded ASAP so you can try to get
Yeah,
out of this shit
yeah,
ASAP. And that's not how it works, bro. Like it's just one of those things where you gotta learn how to enjoy it, the journey to it, and the struggle that's gonna come with it. And man, like it just little by little, bro, just make small little gains every day. Just
yeah. I mean,
go.
there's a saying that goes, it's not just about the destination, but about the journey, you know?
Yeah. No,
So
no, it's 100%.
as much as the journey sucks, and it's tedious, and sometimes you feel down because let's be honest, we're humans, and even though we have psychology that we're trying to work on it, at the end of the day, sometimes we look around ourselves and we're like, fuck, like I'm still in this situation that I don't want to be in, like I want to grow out of the situation ASAP, but it's easier said than done, you know what I mean? So what I feel like we got to do is we really got to grind and tweak our craft and perfect our craft, so that we can get there sooner than not. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, man.
And just
And
fucking
and
suck it
honestly,
up
the
and
the more you can work on psychology, bro, if that's like I'm telling you, focus a lot on that. This shit, it'll come with time.
yeah,
Because this all you gotta do is just train your eye to see this shit. Because imagine, like I said, if you go from one way of trading, which is let's say, support and resistance, because I could just draw a fucking line and I can tell you, okay, boom, resistance. Oh, I could take this sell.
doesn't work
Wait, but
like
why did why did price go down and then all of a sudden take me out?
yeah, it doesn't
Because
work
you're
like that,
taking
bro.
sells at the wrong times.
Yeah, right. There's more in depth. It's
Yeah.
bro,
Like
trading
when
for
you
me.
when you when you go from this style of trading, which I'm not saying this is wrong because this could work. It's just that at least personally for me, this way of trading doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
Um, but as long as it works, man, like if it's profitable, it's profitable. All you
yeah,
gotta do is just stick to it and just train your eye to see this shit. Because I could spot like support and resistance zones, quick. Like, okay, we have this one. We have another resistance. That's all just training your eye.
yeah,
That's literally all it is. See, we had previous support, price broke, resistance. You could have caught a fucking great trade. See, this could have worked right here. And this is literally just the way that Alex trades.
yeah,
That's literally the way Alex trades, and it works for him. And if you feel like this works for you, then by all means, as long as it makes you money, bro, fuck it.
yeah, for
Like
sure.
I'm
I
not
agree.
knocking it,
I agree, bro. Yeah, man. I
but
think
it's
that
just training your eye. At the end of the day, bro, all this shit will come. All this shit will come with time.
yeah, I think that's good. For today, man. I mean, do you have anything else that you want to talk about, or maybe you have some questions for me?
Um,
Maybe some random questions that whatever that we could just
what do you
uh,
feel like is your biggest setback right now with trading?
um
Or
yeah,
what
that's a
what do
no,
you
that's
feel
a
like
good
is
question
actually
because
what do you feel like is actually the hardest part right now for you when it comes to this trading style?
well, that's a good question because I've never been asked that question before. But let me answer the first part of your question. What's my biggest setback? Well, right now, my biggest setback is I want to say like getting comfortable with training my eyes. You know what I mean? Like being able to spot certain moves, that back then and even just recently, like I would look at a chart and I'd be like, okay, I don't know what the hell's going on. You know, like I feel like if you don't have a structural approach, it's going to be very hard to move forward and learn properly, you know, and be able to get comfortable, you know, with the things that you're seeing. Because if you show this to Joe Schmo, like they're just seeing random lines, you know,
Yeah.
just like in paramedics, like when you're looking at an EKG, like you're just seeing random shit if you don't know what you're looking at, if you don't have a structural approach, you know what I mean?
Yeah. If you don't know how to identify your P
Exactly.
wave.
So, dude, like I said, bro, like I'm glad that we reconnected because when you showed me the style that you were using for trading, like it almost became more simplified. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you. For me to understand everything that you're saying, I have to have had a little bit of experience prior because it's still pretty complicated for the average individual.
No, no, for sure.
You know what I mean? Again, like I want to say like I've been trading for a year and change, and I've learned a lot, but I know that I still have a long road ahead of me. So yeah, bro, I definitely like smart money concepts. It makes a lot of sense, and it's kind of simplified, bro. It helps out a lot.
Yeah, man.
Now to
I
answer my biggest setback. Wait, the first part of the question was what was the first part of the question? What's my
No,
biggest
well, you just answered now, but the other one is what do you find the hardest part right now of SMC
SMC or trading
or
overall?
like smart money concept? Yeah,
Smart
is it
money
just
concepts? Bro, it's not really hard because I feel like as soon as you're able to identify, you know, the I guess the fuck, how do you call it? Like the points of interest that we're
mhm.
looking for, you know what I mean? Like the gaps and you know the order blocks, and you got to know a little bit about like basic trading, like trends. And also, even though we don't really look at double tops and double bottoms, you still have to know what it is because if you put it in confluence with everything else that you're learning, you know what I mean? It's almost like an extra piece of the pie that you were missing. You feel me?
Yeah,
So I'm not gonna I can't knock on people that trade like you know traditional trading like trend lines, bull flags, stuff like that. I feel like all that stuff works, but there has to be a deeper understanding of the markets. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? So like if you put that basic stuff together with a deeper understanding of the market, you can come together and have a better trading plan. You know what I mean?
yeah. No, definitely, man. But we'll get to it, bro. You'll get the hang of this shit, nigga. In no time,
Bro.
you'll be
We,
chilling.
we.
Nah,
It all depends.
I know we, but I'm saying more you because I want this is gonna be like a like I'm gonna be seeing you pretty much like expand your knowledge when it comes to the
For
trading
sure,
shit.
dude. I can't wait. I can't wait till you get funded because if you get funded, that means that I'm probably gonna get funded.
I
Probably
know.
shortly after you do, hopefully.
Hopefully, man. It
Yeah,
all just
so
depends on
are you
it all just depends on how much time and effort you're gonna put into it as
oh
well. And
absolutely, absolutely, bro. Absolutely. Are you looking at different prop firms or just FTMO?
bro, honestly, I'm looking at possibly other prop firms too, bro. I
Yeah,
think
there's a couple, man. I've seen a lot of them recently.
what is it? Funded traders,
Yeah,
trusted
that's one of
traders.
the
I don't know,
bigger
some shit
ones.
like that.
FTT?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah,
I think it's FTT.
but definitely looking into some other prop firms too, man.
Yeah, man.
Because I'm gonna see the one thing for me is the time limit.
Oh yeah, a
Because
lot of
I don't like to have a time limit
there's one that does instead of 60 days for the first part of the challenge, I think it's like 70 days. You got like an extra 10 days or something like that.
60 days is more than enough.
Oh, I'm
Because
sorry.
FTMO does
I meant to say 30 like 30 is the regular for for the first part. There's a prop
oh,
firm that offers 40 days. That's what I meant to say for the
gotcha.
first part. And then the second part, I think it's the same shit. And then you just need to make less of a profit.
That's yeah, okay. I'm gonna look
All right,
into it.
bro. I think that's good for today, man.
Sounds good to me, bro.
All right, bro. You want to do the closing?
Let me see how I do this shit. All right.
Are we gonna
The screen stop sharing.
are we gonna do an outro?
Oh shit! I don't even know what to say, bro.
Hey,
Well,
man.
y'all take it easy. Y'all have a good one. Hope y'all enjoyed.
See you guys in the next one.
All right, man. Take it easy, bro.
Dale, bro.